Welcome to the Raw CEO ATP Project / hyphenated end of year Mega Mash. Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're going to.
Great title.
Mega Mash.
We were trying to figure out what we're going to talk about, and we just didn't, did we? So we thought we'd start the cameras and go.
Yeah. I also don't think I've ever been on a podcast with you before.
No,
Steve.
that's right.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is this the first time?
Yeah.
Is right.
What's he like? Bit awkward?
Well, guys,
funny?
what we wanted to talk about this was just the year in review. It's Christmas,
but not
don't do that.
Please don't play footsies.
No, okay, well,
it's time to grab the Christmas eggnog and just have a bit of a listen in. And we've had a few people asking what's going on with product development. So we thought a good opportunity to sort of do a bit of a year in review and talk about some of our plans for next year. I mean, I think like everybody, 2021 has been the year that kick the crap out of most people, right? Got to be careful.
I actually feel like it went so fast. Like you just blinked, and then it's like, what happened this year? I'm getting this year and last year really mixed up.
Well, I mean, I remember at the end of 2020, I remember saying, "Oh, bring on 2021!
Yes.
Right, we've had enough." And I tell you what, it was just more of the same crap.
Yeah.
But it's been tough. Obviously, COVID has again been the big one that's taken all the headlines. A lot of people have been writing in saying, "Hey guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?" We can't talk about COVID. We can't. And look, we recommend that you go and speak to your healthcare practitioner. But one of the things I do want to say around the subject that we can talk about, though, is question everything. I think there needs to be healthy debate. I've been speaking with some federal members about, I think, the lack of debate. I think that's dangerous. And I think we need to look at some of the science and some of the reports. But we want everyone to be safe. And I was just talking to my sister, so coming up for Christmas, my sister, complete opposite of me. She is dreads and she's
just, I've had before. She's great.
No, she's not artistic.
Really?
No, not that one. That's
the
my
other
other
one.
sister.
Oh, the other one. Okay.
Yeah, the three of us are like completely different. But we were just talking. My sister's very philosophical. She's brilliant.
Right.
She actually works for Hep C Australia. She's a counsellor.
Did you say Hep C Australia?
Yeah, she works for like the
Hepatitis C Australia.
Okay. Yeah, but basically, I forget the exact name of the organisation, but she helps people that are going through hepatitis C because she went through it herself and is now cured.
Wow, that new drug came out about a year ago, wasn't it?
I don't know. I actually haven't caught up with her about it. But we were just talking about how the whole world is just a powder keg at the moment. You've got black versus white, you've got straight versus gay, you've got trans versus everyone, and everyone versus trans. And we're just talking, but I'm serious. I mean, and I'm not any which way or shape. And it's funny because my sister, and she won't mind saying this, gay, alternative lifestyle, very hippie, relatively socialist, versus me, who's straight, conservative, middle-aged Christian, who, never the twain should meet. We love each other. Yeah. And we're just saying how the world actually needs, and not just because we're brother and sister, I genuinely love my sister. Because the whole Voltaire thing that we keep talking about all the time, right? Might not agree with what you have to say, but we'll fight to the death for your ability to be able to say it. And both of us were saying the same thing, and we are so diametrically opposed on everything. I mean, she's...
Well, you're a conservative like me. You're conservative in economics and that sort of thing.
Sure.
And she's very socialist, you're saying.
Well, and but we agree. We hate crony capitalism. We hate the fact that during this period there have been 500 new billionaires created, and that the rich end of the scale. I mean, your Bezoses and your Gates.
They're just getting richer.
And this is the thing that we don't have. We don't have love.
Yeah.
Because people are just, as I said, but have you noticed how everything is designed to divide?
Yes.
Whatever happened to the ability, Steve, you're an atheist, I'm a Christian. We completely disagree philosophically on the origins of life and all the rest of it. But we're not at each other's throats.
No,
in fact, I love you, Steve.
Oh, I love you too.
Oh, thank you.
Brotherly love and all that sort of stuff. But my family are from Christians, my dad Catholic, my mum Protestant, which caused problems back then getting married, actually.
Well, isn't that funny? They wanted to kill each other, right?
Yes.
Like,
In 1965 when they got married, it was a different world back then, and they had to find a church, and my mother had to do a month Catholic training. Wow. It was quite weird.
It is.
But
this is the whole thing that I'm talking about, and this is the problem as well too. When you just have these consistently, we are being designed to pit against one another.
Social media.
Well, yes. And I was talking to my sister because I said, sis, literally, I had a look at my phone. I spent 2 hours and 36 minutes on social media, and it's not that I don't actually want to reach out and touch people.
Oh, yeah.
Steve, I know, mate. Middle-aged man. It's there on the news now. Middle-aged man wants to touch people. but 2 hours and 36 minutes is what I spent on social media
for the whole year,
for the whole week.
For the
whole week.
Yeah, because I just get so frustrated. It gets me down. I mean, and I know there's a lot of good being done out there, and focus on the positive, right? But I just find it most of the time a cesspool of just negative, irate, angry people being very negative. And look, there's enough in that in the world. And I'm not saying that you should stick your head in the sand and forget what's going on, and that you shouldn't actually stand up for what you believe in, the courage of your convictions, but just the whole permeability of all. Sometimes you just got to shake it off. And one of the episodes that we did this year, which I really loved, is that laughter one.
Oh, yes, laughter is medicine.
You know, and I think this is the thing, after a couple of years, people have just had enough. So anyway, the whole craziness is, and look, agree with it, don't believe that the virus is the thing that's going to wipe out the population, or that the vaccine is. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your freedom of choice and your freedom of expression. Love the person from the other side. And just find some common ground. I mean, again, at the end of the day, if we're all pitted against one another, if we're all angry and yelling, you can win an argument, but you can lose a friend. You can win an argument, but you can that person will resent you, so you won't actually get through. And if you feel passionately either way, make your voice heard, but do so in a way that loves people. And that's the hard part, because so much love is gone.
Well, mental health's huge. I mean, especially young men, it's the leading cause of death in young men. I mean, that's horrific. It's terrible. And as we know, with COVID and the whole scenario around this, it's created problems beyond the virus. Like, we've talked briefly about supply chain issues, where you can't get something from somewhere and the post takes forever, and they blame COVID for it.
Well, and what's happening at the moment is there is big problems with supply chain. We're having problems with MPD. I mean, so we had several products designed for launch at the end of this year. We had a plant-based protein. Oh my gosh! And we're going to do a full documentary on this, but this is interesting.
For another day,
we had an amazing tasting protein, absolutely brilliant. I won't tell you exactly what it was, because I think we won't spoil the story, but $80,000 later and no product, and we can't bring this product to market. And I think it was something really special, something really different.
I don't want to give too much away, but if we didn't do the due diligence, we would have a protein powder out now.
Well, according to the certificate analysis,
it wouldn't be what it says it is.
No, it'd be. Yeah. But that's amazing, isn't it? Just that
shows you how common it is, and
it's incredible,
how much happens.
Well, if I mean, most companies, and for people don't know, they get a certificate on analysis of the ingredients from the supplier. Now, typically based on that, under Fazan's, you can utilise that to make your product. But the problem is that with some companies, and in particular this one that we dealt with, they gave us a sample, we loved it, we tried it, we thought it was fantastic. We then ordered the product, and then they sent their B sample. When we tested that against the A sample, it wasn't the same. We actually sent it to Europe for genetic identification, species identification, and we sent it to another...
I think 2 places in Australia and then 1 in Europe, wasn't it?
That's right.
Over 3, and then there was like 4 different, I think 4 or 5.
Well, the first one was an anomaly, and we're like, hang on, that doesn't look right, and then we sent it to the other one over in Europe. So, even the testing itself, time and money, but the most expensive thing in business is time, and we've just lost 6 months on this product, which is just horrendous. But then we've got a couple of other new products coming out in the new year as well too, a pre-workout and a fat burner, finally. So a lot of people have been asking, when are you guys bringing out a pre-workout? When are you guys bringing out a fat burner? And look, we had Limitless, and Limitless was based on sort of gut-right polyphenols, designed as a completely natural, great product, but not what the kiddies are after. What I mean by that is that it's great product, but wrong market, right? I mean, and you give people what they want. So it's not about what we want. I mean, we might come up with a really great idea, but if it doesn't find favour in the market, then there's no point. Also, at that time, the TGA were also cracking down on anything called fat burner, so we didn't put fat burner on the label as well too.
And it was launched the first day that Australia went into lockdown.
Oh yeah,
can't forget that.
It's just anyway,
nightmares about that.
Oh my goodness,
it's just that wasn't a great one anyway. But anyway, I think we've got something pretty cool coming out. It's really
a whole range. Actually, it's like there's 3 distinct formulas we'll launch with, and then
They're
So
really
it should be
good.
Expand from there.
Scientific research, so really evidence-based stuff.
And you guys did a product training this morning
Yeah.
with the team, and
Yeah.
they're really cool, really exciting, really fun, really natural,
And taste
good.
amazing.
Yeah, they
I
taste
think we've
great.
got some really good taste there, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty hard on us for the tasting, but I think we've got some good products there. So that'll be coming out early in the new year, and that'll be fun. But yeah, this year has been pretty tough. It's been a tough year
Yeah.
in more ways than one. So obviously the whole lockdown, mental health issues. Now we've got transport issues.
But one thing that did happen this year, our bar line got commissioned finally.
Well, Steve,
Whoever
Yeah.
thought
there we
that
go.
was going to happen?
These are not bonbons.
No.
Actually, you can shake your bonbon, Steve. But no.
do.
Yeah. This is a new style of bar. So, because people have been going, when are the bars coming? When are the bars coming? Previously, we had problems with stability. So, we've got 8 months of stability on our prototype. But now that we've commissioned the line, we have to go back and start again. So, the good news is that the stability of these bars is holding up, which is really, really great.
Yes.
So, we're launching these bars early in the new year. Hopefully, and again, I know that this keeps moving, but that's because we go to launch and then we find a problem. Oh, we can't get that flavour anymore. Oh, hang on, no, that packaging's wrong. Oh, hang on, the NIPS, which is the Nutritional Information Panel, has changed, right? So all these things can sort of, and with the compounding issues with freight at the moment, everything gets pushed back a little bit. However, as Elsa said, bar line is commissioned. We finally got these guys in from overseas to commission the bar line.
So good.
It's proving to be excellent, even better than we thought. The texture and what we're able to do with it's really, really exciting. So,
And it's totally unique. Like it's
so different.
And that's why I suppose R&D is probably taking that bit longer because it's like they have to learn like completely new machinery that's not anywhere else.
Well, the chemistry, I mean, we've got engineers and food scientists working on this. It's at a different level. It's so, and the nuances around the ingredients make changes to the chemistry, which then changes the output of the product. And I don't want to get too boring, but it's literally,
crazy.
it's right up there with rocket science. Seriously, I think it'd probably be easier to land on the moon. You know,
And
we don't have a Stanley Kubrick here that can make it look really impressive. I'm kidding, mate. I'm kidding.
1969.
I'm kidding. Yeah, you got your space rock, Steve.
I guess, look, there's a lot of good things you can say about our bars, but probably my favourite thing is what's not in there. No artificial sweeteners. None.
Yeah.
No artificial colours. No artificial flavours.
Nope.
Virtually dairy-free. We can say that, can't we?
Yeah. I mean, what it does is it'll have traces on the label, and that's because the chocolate that we have doesn't have any dairy in it, but it's manufactured on a line that did have dairy. So we've got someone who's, Chantel, highly sensitive to even a small amount of lactose. Disgusting squirts, smelly egg farts. Have you been around her? Steve?
Yeah, I know. I have to say.
Oof. I mean, it's just like, there's just a puddle, right?
We have a special fan set up just to evacuate the air
Absolutely.
around.
Blow it into Tony's and Elsa's office.
Yeah, that's right.
Describing Chantel down to a T.
She is a smelly, hairy
she doesn't
thing.
listen to the podcast.
No, she's a beautiful,
does she?
lovely girl.
Yeah,
who doesn't do
totally
that at all. No. But yes, outside of that, we wanted to create something that was natural and didn't have huge amounts of artificial sweeteners, sorbitols, sugar alcohols, those sorts of things, because they can cause havoc on your guts. Now, most people say when they eat a protein bar that the biggest thing that they have. Now, some people, like Mick Galley, who works for us, literally has an iron cast. You've heard that saying, iron cast gut?
Yes.
Can
eat anything. Literally could eat this carpet and probably be fine, right?
He was eating some weird food today too. I won't go into details.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go into details.
Oh,
I didn't see it. I want to know.
Loads of bread, like a foot long.
Really?
Yeah, he was eating that.
Yeah.
And, I bought him lunch today. I might make this special weird bread and, bring him in some fruit and apples. So he eats that and then eats the foot-long.
Hang on, Steve. You're not an expert on eating weird things. Can you just tell me quickly what you have for lunch?
Every day?
You have gluten-free bread with peanut butter and
tomato.
And salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper,
yeah. It's beautiful. Tastes great. I don't know why anyone doesn't eat that. It tastes amazing.
And then you convinced Mick to like it as well. So now you bring
he
in...
likes it.
Does he eat it?
Yeah, he literally eats it every day.
He goes, that looks great. And I said, mate, he thought he was having a go at me.
Yeah.
And so I said, you have one. And he just ate it. He goes, that's, iron guts, Mick. You wouldn't, And he ate it. He loved it. So now I bring him in the same thing. He eats it.
There you go.
He eats it. He loves it. allegedly, unless he's being very polite with me for 6 months.
He's eating one every day.
I don't think he's that polite. That's pretty gross.
I just bring him in stuff. He just loves it.
So, bars, I think we've got 4 flavours coming out early in the new year, but there's 3 different styles of bars, but we're starting with bar number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, Steve-O, do you want to open the bar?
Oh, yeah.
And, that's a bit of a fetish thing, I think, isn't it?
A little bit.
Maybe you should do
say.
this on your OnlyFans page.
Yeah.
Well, I've got other things on that page that, only fans, Steve Eddy, hashtag and all that. See, I don't know. Actually, you got me onto Instagram.
I was wondering how that was going.
We were in America. We were sitting in the back of an Uber,
Whoa.
and we were talking about Instagram. And I go, "Oh, no!" And remember, you got my phone.
I do.
And you got me onto
Now look at
Instagram.
him.
Yeah, I
Now look at me,
know.
I'm a superstar.
I thought you were going to say something
now
else.
he's ranking, 1,237 on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Old men with strange balls.
Yeah.
That's it.
Was
Just
like
Google that, by the
Instagram,
way.
wink,
Yeah,
wink.
it's second last, but I mean, good on you, Steve.
Second last in my category.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
overall, I'm kicking ass.
Yeah.
And by the way, my ass is on Instagram.
Nobody wants to see that saggy, hairy old thing.
Oh, this biscuit,
See,
apparently.
They're barking. By the way, can we change the topic now?
Let's go
Look
back to
at
the bar.
that.
Hey?
Now, basically dairy-free, obviously no gluten, no artificial sweeteners, low in carbohydrates. high
Yeah,
in-
20 grams of protein,
Yep.
about 5 grams of sugar,
Yeah.
lots
tastes
of fibre, but not so much that you'll have to run to the toilet after eating it. Low in sugar, alcohol. Steve-O,
Show them the texture.
go
Yeah,
on,
go
give
on.
it a bite.
I've heard that chewing into microphones is becoming a thing, so
What?
don't be afraid.
Is that on
Yeah.
OnlyFans?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh,
Heard
Steve,
it
that's
from a friend.
disgusting. Don't do that. I would not listen to that.
That's the toffee flavour.
Yeah, it's toffee. Yeah, really
that
nice.
one's amazing.
Anyway.
Right, that's why.
So, anyway, we've got a couple of other flavours that will keep those ones surprising. But, that's what we've been working on,
Just
team.
keep talking, Max.
What else? What else has been happening that we can sort of
Anything
talk
happened
about?
to you else during the year?
Oh, yes. I got knocked up.
Whoa, yes! Well, I knocked over my pine cone. That's
Yes.
exciting.
I couldn't get married, so I thought I may as well have a
May as well
baby.
live in sin
That
and
got
have a
COVID
bastard.
cancelled, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, that's where bastard comes from. People that are not married.
Yeah,
I
it
know,
does. I've
but
got a
I-
bastard child on the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Don't worry.
No.
You've still got 20 weeks to go. You could
I
get in a
know.
marriage, couldn't you, between now and then?
Oh, you know what? Marriage fatigue, else?
Yeah, definitely.
Because, I remember the first time, and I was bummed because I couldn't come.
Yeah.
When were we?
Oh,
We were away.
you were planning a ski. I think you had a ski trip, and then you also couldn't do that because of COVID.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there was basketball as well. You had a tournament.
We
or
had a
something.
tournament
That's
on
right.
for Clay, my son who plays
Yeah.
rep basketball, and then I was really bummed about that.
Yeah.
And then I remember then did your sister and that come in quarantine here?
So, no, my sister flew into, at that time, Victorians could fly into New South Wales. So she went to Byron, and then they had just opened the border between New South Wales and Queensland. So she was able to come into Queensland for like a day and saw me, and then realised we were going to go into lockdown, and then she quickly left so she didn't have to quarantine at home because she's a nurse. So obviously her work is, she can't work from home. So
Wow.
yeah, that was crazy. Then we rescheduled it for November, and then the borders were still closed, and so we just decided, let's just move it to next year. So
Wow.
So you moved it to next year?
yeah, November next year.
Oh, hang on.
So I'll
Didn't
have
you
a
move it-
7-month-old.
But when you were getting married and then you moved it to another time.
Yeah, so November just gone.
Right.
And then because of all the border situations still, we couldn't get married. So then we just put it off for a year. But in the meantime, decided to have a baby. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, it's sad because we're going to miss you
Oh, yeah.
because you're going.
I know, isn't that weird?
It is
I'm not going to be
strange.
here for a period of time.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
The
But-
first time in my whole life.
I know, right? Because at 19 you started working with us?
I was 19,
And how old are
yeah.
you
And
now?
I'm
33.
32. I'm 33 in February.
Wow.
That's mental, isn't it?
It is a long time.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, 14 years. It's an incredible long
Yeah.
time.
It is.
How old's the company?
Well, Elsa
I thought
and
it was
I and
12
Tony
years.
were working together
Yeah.
at another company called the Supplement Den,
Yes.
which we used
Yeah.
to. That's where we
No,
we
but
started.
next year is ATP's 10 years.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's literally going to be, a big year.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to be here for it. So
10th year. Wow.
tapping out at 10.
No, you're not. Just when you thought you were
Hopefully
out,
Tony's not listening.
they dragged me back in. But yeah, so it's been a big year personally as well too.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, what else? We've got a lot coming in.
What about the new study that we're doing?
2022. Yes. So yeah, January, straight off the bat after Christmas, we're going to be launching our first ever polyphenol gut health study, which Steve-O, you're across a bit more. So you can definitely give us a little bit of info on that if you like, or what you can say.
It's all about poo. So that's to summarise. No, basically what we're going to be testing is that there's these things in these plants, okay? Let's look at our plant here. And you see how it's green and it sits in the sun all day and it could be eaten by pests or anything, but it doesn't because it protects itself by making its own polyphenols.
Yeah.
Okay? So they're antimicrobial. They'll stop the bugs growing on it and everything like that. We can consume plants, not pine cones, but other healthy plants, and they're full of polyphenols which can modify our gut microbiome. So what we're going to be testing is we're going to take a before sample of your fecal matter. We're going to test it for all the bugs in it. We're going to give you a whole bunch of polyphenols and then test it afterwards and see how your microbiome has changed. Now, the microbiome, of course, contains more genes than cells in your body, and there's more cells in your gut than there are cells in your body as well. So it's a full, rich area of information that can be transferred to the being to improve or make their health worse. So if we can improve it by taking polyphenols, which are naturally found in plants, totally vegan, and by the way, I'll do a bit of a plug for it. If you're interested, sort of look out for us on social media, and we're advertising for people. So we want to test this. We want to see what happens to the microbiome.
And it's only open to 20 people.
Yes.
So it is literally going to be like, get in quick, because this is going to fill up really fast. And it's in collaboration with Microba, which is the testing company. So it's,
so
we want to cost you nothing.
Very cool.
Yeah. Which is awesome because the tests themselves are actually quite expensive by the time we do it. So, but we'll know exactly what's going on in the gut and then the impact of polyphenols. And then from that, also then looking further ahead, we've got further advancements, Steve's, in the polyphenols in terms of our postbiotics that we're working on as well too. So there's a whole area of research that we'll be focusing on next year. That's our deep dive science, because one of the things that we're noticing is that ATP Science is quite eclectic. I mean, we started off, I guess, as a health and wellness company, but then we went rapidly into performance and working with a lot of athletes, because, you know, that's where I came from, and I love working with athletes. I mean, and, you know, giving them products that are going to improve their effectiveness.
And a lot of them needed fixing.
Yeah, well, and that's what Matt said. He goes, they're all like broken down racehorses. They might look fantastic on the stage or, you know, what have you. The elite athletes, like your soccer players, football players, those sorts of guys, typically they're more interested in performance than looks, but they often had areas where they were, you know, overstressed and needed support or wanted to perform at a higher level. But I think going forward, you know, we're synonymous with science. I mean, science is in our name. We want to find out how things work, how we can improve every aspect of human health, whether it's, you know, performance, whether it's health and wellness, whether it's, you know, beauty, whatever. We want to produce unique and interesting products that help people, and that's where we've separated the brand now. That's obviously the new look that we've got, which Tony started working on probably 2 years ago. It just took a long time for us to sort of pull ourselves out of the crap and actually start working on, obviously, our branding and our positioning. So the nice thing is that performance has obviously got that dual tone black and sort of silver look, and that's very distinct, and that'll be a bit different. So going ahead from our wellness and our fast moving consumables and what have you. So
it's incredible, really, and we've had a great year when it comes to our podcast too. It's been quite an amazing year, full of different things. I love that humour podcast too, and probably my most favourite lecturer of all time, and I've lectured for years with colleges and ATMS and all that. So I was going to say ATP, ATMS and all that. And I did a talk with ATMS, and we had Dr. Patch Adams, and he shared the stage with me, and that was one of my highlights, because I went there just to see what he was talking about, so I could talk after him, and I was mesmerised by his stage performance. It was brilliant. You know, you just, and it was all about laughter as medicine. And he would see one patient every 4 hours, 2 a day, and that was his schedule. And he said you had to get that to know the people. And he really talked about why he did it. And he's actually quite scientific. It was more than you think. It was beautiful. And everyone's seen the movie. So he always compared it to the movie. So the problem with
Did he
him.
say it was accurate against the movie?
He said it was accurate. He said, but the doctors were, and he uses colourful language, so I'll have to tone it down. He said, were much worse.
Wow.
Much worse, the doctors there, because they were anti him because he was smart, he'd pass the exams, but, you know, like when you refer to the diverticulitis patient over there, he always say, well, who are they and what's their name? Irrelevant. Diverticulitis over there, you know, Crohn's disease over there, you know, and he cared about the person and he treated the person. He's very much a naturopath as far as I'm concerned, because we treat
an integrated doctor, I think, is how you look at it. And this is the thing as well too. I think, you know, science is self-evident. It's vested interests, and and those vested interests certainly can be financial. And I think that's where a lot of this comes from. That old saying, "He who owns the gold makes the rules," is very true. What else you got for us, Elsa?
Oh, what else? We've got another product coming with Cara as well.
Oh,
Cara
yeah.
Saunders.
So this is something that we've been asked a little bit for, is something without stimulation, like Stim's caffeine, that you can actually use that's based on high performance. So beta-alanine is really controversial ingredient. From a point of controversial, not in terms of its effectiveness and how it works, but people either love it or hate it. Those spiders on the back of the neck or on the... Everybody gets it different. Where do you get it else?
Face.
Yeah.
A lot of the time on the face.
Here. Yeah.
I feel like I've been
Like
drinking.
the lips. I get it on my lips.
Yeah, that tingles. I get it on the back of my neck.
Oh.
Yeah, and it really is kind of horrible. That's that spiral feeling. But it's a fantastic product that actually improves the ability to buffer acid. So, and it actually has a cumulative effect. And the longer that you take it, the more effective it gets. But you can also use it performance-driven in terms of you take it directly before you train, and it will also help as well too.
Absolutely.
But it's very controversial in terms of people love it or hate it. But it's a performance product. So we've got that in it. There's some other really cool things as well too. Non-stim, no carbohydrates. So that product will be coming out January?
Oh, no, not that early. Probably. Then we'd be launching like how many products in January? I think that'll be like an April, May launch.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
After the bars.
Oh, my gosh.
Can't wait for that.
It's too long.
Yeah.
Because
Hopefully then-
can we say the name of it? Is that all right?
No, I don't think we can.
I don't know.
No, because what people do is that they get the name and then they sit on it.
Yeah.
And then they get all the SEO for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And they usurp our other retailers.
It's a good name, though.
Yeah,
a very accurate name, I think.
Yeah.
It is. It is really good. And Cara is loving it. She's been using it for a little while now. And she's very excited about this product.
Just to fill in, Cara's a superstar athlete in CrossFit.
Well, number 2 in Australia, is she?
Number 1 in Australia.
Number 1 in Australia, was she?
Yeah.
I think
I'm pretty sure she won. She won the Torian last year.
Oh, she won the Torian because...
yeah.
What's the other girl's name?
Tia.
Tia's based in the States now.
Oh, yeah. I think Tia would have won if she was in Australia.
Tia's crazy. I mean, she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
But World's Fittest Mum coming back. COVID.
My
gosh, that
gosh.
podcast was really interesting.
Yeah.
Really
if you
good
haven't
podcast.
listened to it yet, definitely check out the episode we did recently with Cara.
Heartbreaking, really.
There was, but it's just a really good episode. It was 2 episodes, actually, and we covered some really good stuff in there. So,
It's incredible because, her stories are amazing and, she's a lovely person to boot.
Yeah.
Husband's great and the kid. I follow her on social
Scotty,
media.
I know.
Just for Scotty,
She's so cute.
And it's funny because you
She's
always
into
see,
everything, man.
Cara and Scotty together and it's just incredible.
Yeah.
It's just and World's Fittest Mum, I think. Can I say World or Australia's Fittest Mum, I'm sure.
I don't know.
I think Sigurdsson beat her, didn't she? Well, because of COVID. And Sigurdsson's had a daughter. So now...
Annie, Thor's daughter.
Thor's daughter, is it? Not Sigurdsson. Yeah, Thor's daughter.
yeah,
Sorry.
I don't know.
All those Scandinavians. They're all the same.
Those Vikings.
Or somebody's daughter or son. Have you noticed the Ericsson,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All their
Eric's
names.
daughter. So
Really?
daughter and son. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
It's fascinating.
Yeah. It's funny.
They're all machines, too.
They're all,
Yeah.
all Vikings.
all Vikings.
I mean, I do love being part of their lives on social media. So follow her. It really is. She's one of the more entertaining ones.
See, getting you on Instagram
It was
so
great.
good for you.
I follow weird stuff now. That's
That's
you
the
just-
OnlyFans thing. Just keep that to yourself, mate. You know?
I just noticed that Cara episode was 314. So think of pi.
Yeah.
If you can't remember Cara.
3.14.
Yeah. It's true.
Pi
is 3.14.
For all you nerds out there, what do you think of pi?
Pi is 3.141592.
Oh, Steve, stop it. Oh, look at
All
that.
right,
yeah.
you're just flexing your muscles now.
Year in review, guys. It's been a tough time.
Yeah.
But I want to end on a happy note because you're about to spend some time with your family. Just be with the ones that you love, be with the one, and love the ones that you're with. And I think and that's funny because that's what Elizabeth said last year, right?
Yeah.
Just find some common ground, you know, and just take some time out to love on your family.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you can roll the dice and go to Melbourne if you want, like I'm going to go to.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, Tiger dress too. Go Tigers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, is that
My
why you
little
wore
plug.
that?
Yeah, Richmond, is it?
I didn't. It's not
You're a
why I wore
Tigers
it. It's
supporter.
why I bought it.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It took me, of the podcast an hour and 30 minutes to pick on that. Up on that.
Of course.
Of course, Tigerland.
Elsa, any words for the year? any pearls of wisdom?
Throws on
Anything
the
for next year?
No, I mean, for me, it's like you can only control what you control. Like, what you can control. Because it's like you can spend hours, going crazy on everything. And like what I said about speaking to my family in Melbourne, like, you just have to try and look forward and, like you said, love and, support those around you. And it's not worth ruining relationships over. So,
And even people you don't agree with. I mean, if you
Yeah.
can find in your heart just to love them, even if you totally disagree with them, because it's this perpetuating hate and frustration, anger and angst that just keeps perpetuating,
and that is toxic.
Gandhi
you
said
know,
it
like,
best,
it's-
an eye for an eye and the whole world goes blind. And again, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't state what you believe, because some things that you say may offend people, but if you do so in love and actually look at the reactions in love, it's an easier way and a better way to get your point across.
Much better.
Yep, exactly.
Steve-O?
Well, I want to have a next year as being sort of like a fusion of course, goodwills, but also medicines, natural medicine. I want that to continue to grow. I want natural medicine to infiltrate medicine. Is what I really want to do. And, from a health point of view, I want to see that continue to grow. And I'm speaking to a lot of specialists and doctors and, with my father-in-law, he's, in with cosmetic surgery and all that stuff. And the doctors are really embracing natural medicines.
I think integration of West and natural medicine is a brilliant thing.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
again, some people's ability to integrate more or less. I mean, I know that was happening a while ago with Combs IQ10 was being very well received by a lot of chemists as well too, and prescribing that alongside medication, right?
Correct.
So
Very good with statins.
yeah, exactly right. But
Statins deplete CoQ10 in your body, so you sort of have to take it. That's
well,
why.
Steve, you're trampling over my beautiful Cinderella story here, but it's true.
Yeah.
But I think, in terms of being able to find a way to coexist and actually complement one another. But I don't know, Steve. I'm thinking it's going to be a really interesting year next year. There's going to be a lot of lunacy and craziness, and but at the same time, you just got to take every day at a time, and find those things that you can enjoy within those days. I love spending time with my kids. They're playing basketball and football. I just love spending time with them. Just spending time at home with the family.
And Clay's such a little beauty, a little kid, isn't he?
Which one, Clay or Corbin?
No, I was going to say, I was being sarcastic. I saw him this morning. He was wearing a high-vis vest, and he looked like one of the guys because he's that high.
He's taller than me now.
Yeah,
Well, he's my height. He's 6'1", and I'm not the shortest man on the planet.
Yeah.
And
He's 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just mental.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's so
going to be
tall,
tall.
it's incredible.
And little Corbin as well too.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to us. We had a great year, and we'll be back next year.